Corn is like photography because when you shutter the cog, the aperture begins to. I'm just messing with you. Corn has nothing to do with photography. At least not in the way that I can think of. If you know of a way, please put it in the comments below because I would love to hear that. However, photography is like boiling water because you gotta heat up water to get it to boil. Same thing with photography. You gotta practice to get better. But the moment that you stop heating up that water, it begins to cool down. Same thing with your photography or any skill if you think about it. The moment you begin to stop practicing, your skills, they start to get rusty. So you need to continuously always be practicing in order to keep your skills up. And this year, well, this year is the year of all years. 2020. It's been tough. It's been really, really tough. I can't prove it, but this year has probably been the year that the most photographers have quit. They've given up. They've sold their gear. They've thrown in the towel. They're out of the game. And if you've thought about quitting, I honestly don't blame you. Personally, I haven't thought about it, but it's been tough. I haven't shot anything since March. And I recently did a photo shoot, a free photo shoot, just so I can get out there and get some practice. And here's some of the pictures that we got. I'm actually quite happy with what we ended up, but this is going to be a behind the scenes. It's going to be honest, it's going to be raw, maybe a little embarrassing. If that's something you're interested, keep watching. You can learn from my mistakes and learn maybe a little bit off-camera flash if you've never done it yourself. Let's get into it. Okay, let's start off by talking about the what and the where. So this is a Sweet 16 portrait session. Now, I actually worked with her before and her mom last year for her quinceañera portrait session and quinceañera event. Now, if you don't know what that is, basically, think of it as a Mexican Sweet 16, if you will. Last year, it was a little different. This year, she wanted something more edgy. She's grown up, right? She's a year older. So this year, we're working at the Hayes Street Bridge downtown in San Antonio. And I'm really excited about this because I've never shot here before, but I've always wanted to. It's really cool. It's a really urban location. And, I just never got the chance, and I finally did. So, really excited. Now, for lighting, we are using off-camera flash. If you've never used off-camera flash or ever even heard of it, basically, it's flash that you don't use on top of your camera. So what it's really good for is controlling light and the direction it comes from. What it allows you to do is to create dramatic images. And so that's perfect for what she wants. She wants a little bit more edgy, and that's what we're going to give her. Now, the equipment that you see there, I'm using the Godox AD Pro. I actually have two of them on there with the dual head adapter because this is a sunset portrait session. So I'm going to be using the sun as backlighting. And so we're going to be shooting against it. I'm going to need a little extra power because we're going to be right up against it. And as the sun goes down, I'm going to be reducing the power. I'm going to eventually be going down to 1. I'm just not going to need it. And for modifying the light, I'm using the 42-inch Glow Beauty Dish. It's going to make a nice soft light. We're going to capture a nice spread. And I recently got it, so I just wanted to try it out. Just being honest. And of course, we're using a C-stand with a sandbag so that nothing blows over. C-stands are great. They're better than light stands in my opinion because they're really heavy. So when you're doing outdoor portrait sessions, really good to have, especially when it's windy like it was this day. Okay, so now I'm going to highlight a couple photos for you, and I'm going to leave the best one for last. But this one's a fun one. So as you can see, this is a picture of her and a husky. Now, we did not bring a husky with us. This is not her dog. So what happened was there was a couple who was walking their dogs with them. And she was eyeing them. She likes dogs. My lovely assistant noticed this, and she was brave enough to ask them if we can borrow one of their puppies so that we can get a couple of shots. So we did this very quickly because, it's it's their puppies. We didn't want to take them up for very long. So what we did is we just quickly wrapped the tutu around the puppy and then had her pose with them. I believe we gave them a snack so that we can build some trust. And yeah, and then basically she just hugged around them. So basically the lesson here is don't be afraid to interact with the people that are around you. I was too in the moment. Like I said, I haven't shot in a while. And when I say I haven't shot in a while, I mean I haven't shot with people. I have been shooting around the house, objects, maybe my pets, things like that. Flowers, that kind of stuff. But I haven't actually done a portrait session with anybody. So I just was so excited. I was so in the moment that I really wasn't paying attention to the surroundings. But luckily, my wife, my assistant, she was. So she did this for us, and we got to get some of these great shots. As a thank you, we got their phone number, and then we got their email. I emailed them the pictures, and they were happy about that. Okay, here's another fun one. So this one was basically we're throwing some water at her and trying to catch it at the right moment. Here's some behind the scenes, as you can see. But the mistake I did, and again, this is why you need to practice. The mistake I did was I didn't put on the modeling light. So I was having such trouble focusing on her because it was dark. And yeah, the modeling light would have really helped out to do, Oh, brother. Yeah, so that's one of those little silly mistakes that happen when you don't practice enough. So this one was basically we tried many shots at it. My assistant, she had a water bottle. We went through 2 water bottles, by the way. She just kind of threw the water out, and we tried to catch it at the right moments. We did this I don't know how many times. And so this is one of them. I did plenty of editing. I cut the guy out in the back and kind of cleaned stuff up there, the coloring and all that. There's another one as well. This is one that I believe this is one that the client liked the best. There was some where I actually did catch the water in midair with the light reflecting off of it, but this is the expression that looked best. So whatever the client wants is the correct picture. So that is rule number 1. Remember that. The client is right. No, but really, I mean, this is for her. So that is the most important thing. But yeah, so I was actually having a lot of focusing issues. And so that's one of the things. Some of those were just a little bit out of focus, like a little bit, and you wouldn't even be able to tell if you were not a photographer. But as a photographer, yes, you could tell. So here's an example of one of those pictures I was talking about. Great picture, great composition, but it's a little soft in the face. The eyes are not as sharp as they can be. If you're not a photographer, you can't tell. If you are a photographer, you're pixel peeping and you can see it. Again, it's just one of those things where it's just, I could have slowed down. Again, I was so excited. It's been so long. I should have slowed down. I should have manually focused and gotten the shot. But it's okay. We got a lot of great shots. Now, I want to show you my favorite picture of the whole night. I want to share with you. So this is it. This was the crowd favorite. I shared it on photography groups and consistently got the most likes and comments. Unfortunately, I don't have very good behind the scenes video of it because it was pointing the wrong way. But basically, I lowered the light since she was sitting down. And the light was facing her from her right side, my left, camera left. And I had her, sitting against the fence. But if you actually want to see how I got the colors and all that, I can do a video specifically on the editing. I don't want to make this video 20, 30 minutes long. I do have some weddings coming up, so I can get you some behind the scenes on that. But that won't be till probably November because the wedding's in late October. In between, I got some second shooting stuff, but I don't know if I can get video of that. Otherwise, subscribe, like, share, definitely. And until next time.